Season 3 class changes have been announced. What's up guys, Petko here. There's so much information about Season 3 already since last night, so I'm going to try to break down and give you the most important highlights of each class and spec. I'll leave the full article for you guys down below in the forum so you can read it. It's 17 pages long, so bear with me. Okay, let's begin with Decay. Decay is the first spec that Blizzard have decided to change drastically, especially if you're playing Frost Decay, you're going to see in a second. So new talent, improving hits by 2%, not too bad. They decided to absolutely nuke down anti-magic zone. Unfortunately for a lot of you, it's gonna be 4 minutes baseline cooldown. Again, I repeat, 4 minutes going from 2. There's the talent that reduces the cooldown is gonna drop to 3 minutes because it's gonna give you minus 60 seconds, but still 2 seconds longer duration, and it's still going to be 3 minutes if you play that talent. Otherwise it's going to be 4, and only gives you a 15% CDR for 6 seconds, which is again not too shabby. I would have loved to see it maybe a little bit more, but 15%, that's a big nerf. They removed the abomination limp, which pretty much means that you don't have the ability to stack all the mobs together with your abom limp. Kind of unfortunate, especially if you're playing on a Holy Decay, because you want to stack everything in your D&D, but it's alright. Deathbringer is being changed quite a bit. Exterminate has been changed, as you can see, which is again a big deal for Frost Decay, and obviously a Blood Decay. Unholy cannot play Deathbringer. Sunlin, finally. This is something that we told them last season. Please make Sunlin more consistent, less RNG. They listened to it, they're gonna fix it. So Dark Transformation or Dancing Rune now is gonna proc Blood Beast instead of, you know, spamming like a chimp vampiric strike in hoping to get a proc. Now you got a guaranteed proc once you press those abilities. Okay, guaranteed. Unfortunately, that proc, or I guess that Blood Beast now is gonna deal less damage than before. But at least you know that it's guaranteed, so you have a lot less RNG, which is again the most important thing coming from Sunlin. For the tuning is gonna decide whether this is gonna be bad or good, but for now they're trying to experiment to make it more consistent. Okay, the damage doesn't really matter. What matters is the way that this spec plays out, and if people like the way that the spec plays out, I'm sure Blizzard will adjust it. Frost Decay is getting a shit ton of changes, I believe 3.5 pages, a complete rework from new talents to remove of old talents, to trying to change the playstyle, trying to move away from bread, trying to have a build that also focus on bread and give you the opportunity to have good single target, consistent damage, and AoE at the same time. Again, I'm not going to cover everything. You guys can read them as you want, but this is looking to be very, very promising if you are a Death Knight player, especially if you love to play Frost Decay. It looks like Blizzard have decided to invest a lot of time and resources in making Frost Decay much better next patch. Unholy Decay also once again gets a new talent, obviously just like in a spec right now. And as you can see, even though A-Bomb Limb has been removed, there's a new one called Legion of Souls. Again, it's a little bit different than what A-Bomb Limb used to be, but they're trying to make a make a cohesive, well, I guess make a change that is actually going to give you something rather than just, you know, rob you from the A-Bomb Limb. I'm gonna skip everything for now. Talents removed here: Pestilence, Running Mastery, Rupture, Viscera, and Vile Contagious. Wow. Very unfortunate. Druid is got a new talent on a Druid General 3 called Teaching Likara's Meditation. Used to be Likara Inspiration. If you are Moonkin, you get 30% avoidance, whatever. Bear form gets movement speed. Cat form gets stamina. That's really good, by the way. And no form gets you magic damage DR. Sorry, more magic damage, which pretty much means if you're playing, you know, Restoration Druid, I guess, you're gonna get more magic damage. If you're cut form, you get more stamina, which actually is pretty good. Make you even tankier than before. Buff to Outstalker, small buff to Pharaoh, whatever. Just, you know, more damage in your beta form. That's really whatever. Likara's Teaching gives you 6% mastery while in Moonkin form. Why is it under Pharaoh? I have no idea. Maybe if I have no idea why, but that's kind of weird. You're gonna have new visual effects for druids, especially for your healing on druid. As you can see, regrowth, rejuve, swiftment, tranquility. It's gonna be pretty cool. We're gonna log in later on stream and check it out. Evoker's got some changes too. Flame Shaper and Scale Commander. Flame Shaper seems like Engulf has been targeted and changed quite a bit for better. Nothing for augmentation. Press Evoker's got a lot of changes, specifically trying to make a quality of life adjustments for spec. So a lot of people will get in, play it, and hopefully like the new playstyle compared to the old playstyle. Again, positioning is gonna be important for the spec, meaning that you don't have you want to make sure your alliance are within a range where you can just stack group heal them. And if they spread a little bit, yes, that's going to be harmful. But again, they're trying to make that problem disappear in the following patches, or at least weeks. Good stuff though, overall buffs for them. Hunter has been getting a lot of changes. More specifically, BM Hunter got a mastery change. Now you're going to see what it does. New talent, harmonize, pet damage increased by 4%. Choice node with explosive shot. Thank you. I don't have to play this bullshit explosive shot on my BM Hunter. I like that. Good stuff. Dark Ranger has been changed quite a bit. It seems like they're really trying to push Dark Ranger to be playable for all specs, especially for BM Hunter, because right now, again, you didn't really play Dark Ranger as BM Hunter and M+, so they're trying to shift that back and make sure people are trying it out. So yeah, that's massive buffs for Dark Ranger again and again. This is, I think the 10th buff in a row since beginning of the year. Interesting. Pack Leader also some small changes. Nothing with Sentinel. Many talents have changed positions on BM Hunter. We're gonna check it out on PTR later on. New talent Wind Speaker. Okay. New talents here as well. Following talents being removed. Barrage, useless, nobody played it. Shower of Blood, Venomous Bite. Venomous Bite, not a useless talent. Nobody played it. Shower of Blood. I don't remember what that is. MM Hunter, there's been a lot of new talents, as you can see here. Good stuff. Unmatched Precision. The damage bonus of precise shots increased by 20 or 40. New talent. Juicy. It's going to make you sustain damage better. Let me check something interesting. Kill zone has been updated. Light ammo has returned and updated. That's actually very good. This is very good. Light ammo is one of my most favorite talents. Now also increased damage of a speculative Hydra by 15%. Okay, a lot of interesting stuff. Killer Mark removed. As talent, Quick Draw also removed. Survival Hunter hasn't seen that many changes, but you just get general buffs overall. I don't know if I like that. They're just not having any new stuff for survival, but they just give them small buffs here and there. Maybe they just like the way that the spec plays out. I'm not sure. But that's everything for now. Mage, Inspired Intellect now grants you 6% increased intellect. Wait, what? Mage gets to buff allies by 6% intellect instead of 3? What? I mean, that's gonna make them meta all the time, because I mean that's gonna make caster comp meta all the time, because like what? You just give them 6% more damage. Like imagine, even if melee can do more damage, you get a mage, you already do like more damage by 6%. That's crazy actually. What the fuck? Maybe okay, we're gonna log in and see if that's. I mean, maybe it's like a duration, right? Not like the buff that you get for like 60 minutes. Maybe it's like a proc. I'm not sure. I gotta log in. So that sounds kind of fishy. Time anomaly has been removed though. Okay. Spellslinger, some changes here. The dimensional splinters reduces the cooldown of Arcane Orb. Okay. CDR, good stuff. Arcane has been updated. Mastery, Savannah been adjusted. Okay. Adjusting mastery, which again is something you like. Not many changes for Arcane, it seems like. There's been some quality of life changes. Trackable. Arcane Harmony is now tracked by the person or resources player. Whatever, nobody cares. Okay, not so many changes for Arcane. Fire also got a little bit of changes. Only like 2 sentences. Hypothermia has been updated. Casting Pyro Flame Strike during hypothermia increased damage of Pyro and Flame Strike by 15% up to 150. What the hell? That's crazy good. Frost Mage Mastery has been buffed. All damage bonus increased by 40. Wait, what? Bro, what are they cooking, man? Like, Frost Mage Mastery went from meh to... What the fuck is this? Icicle has been updated. All damage bonus increased by 40 on Icicles. I mean, that's insane. What the hell? Okay, so Brewmaster is the tank that got changed the most. again. They promised to get a rework, but that doesn't really seem like a rework. It seems like a, 5 sentences. Making an adjustment to make Brewmaster talent to provide new options for smoothing out gameplay. Okay, so new talent, Zen State, your stagger increase up to 20% based on missing health. Ooh, good stuff. They're adding more defensive cooldowns. I'm actually kind of hesitant because like Brewmaster Monk does not need more buttons to press. They already have a shit ton, so that's kind of interesting decision here. Following talents removed, Celestial Flames, Zen Meditation, okay. Mystical Monk, very small changes here. A revival healing increased by 100. But now it does less healing after 5 targets, which again is going to be better for Mythic Plus. Not many things for Paladins, it seems like. Holy Paladin got buffed. New talent. I mean, not buffed, but like, new talents. Allies with Bigger Fate healed every 3 seconds. Okay, interesting. Retribution Paladin, Divine Hammer updated. Now it has it's now a 2-minute cooldown instead of a minute. Okay, interesting. Last for 10 seconds was 8. Duration now increased by 0.3 per holy power spend was 0.5. But damage increased by 12, which pretty much means longer cooldown, but more damage during the cooldown. Okay. That's nice. Holy Nova mana cost reduced by 87%. Good stuff. Let's see Disc Priest. Disc Priest, Luminous Barrier. I mean, why are they keep making us play this shit? Nobody likes it. Power Word Shield mana cost increased by 8%. They want to make Disc Priest more mana hungry in a way. Ultimate Penance healing and damage increased by 35. Radiance mana cost increased by 20. Pretty much more mana hungry for Disc Priest. Interesting. Holy Priest, mana reduced. Make it more mana efficient, Holy Priest. I like that. Good stuff. Shadow Priest got a rework again. I'm not going to read you guys everything, but they got a rework again. I believe this is the 9th rework since the Shadowlands, which is crazy for a spec, but we're going to be testing the new Shadow Priest coming into PTR very soon. Mind Spike got removed as talent. Unfortunate Darkness, Malediction, Whisper of Shadows got removed. Interesting. A lot of new stuff here happening. We're going to be testing it on PTR. Outlaw Rogue, nothing really much for Outlaw Rogue. The only thing notable here is the Killing Spree redesign. And that's about it, because again, I did really dislike this ability. You used to die so often with Killing Spree, it's crazy. I'm surprised there's nothing for Assassination Rogue and Sub Rogue. I would really love them to focus a lot more on Rogues, because last PTR, there's been barely no changes for Rogues. And right now, it seems like out of every single spec, I mean, Rogue is not even mentioned. It's just Outlaw. Like Asa and Sub are just missing. Kind of bad for guys, Tempest Dax can now cancel at a started raid encounters and Mythic Plus dungeons. Thank God. This was so degenerate. I hated this shit. Enhanced Shaman. Nothing really much changing for Enhanced Shaman. Totem Invocation secondary effect has been updated during Ascendance. That's about it. Rest of Shaman. Nothing interesting here. Healing Tide Totem increased healing by 100%, but healing reduced more rapidly beyond 5 targets. Again, this is going to be better for Mythic Plus, but for raiding, whatever. Corruption now deals damage on application and it's instant cast. Okay. Scale of your primary demon is now consistent across all levels. Zavian Teaching has been removed as talent. Okay. Demonology Warlock. They're addressing 2 issues with the Demonology talent tree. First one, address the tuning of the right side of the talent tree. Second, we're making minor changes to the Demonic Titan ramp and lowering the requirements for maximizing its throughput. Okay, so making it like pretty much easier to play Demo or what? Looks like a lot of interesting changes for Demo. They're removing Reign of Tyranny and also Guillotine. Ooh, okay. But they're buffing baseline damage of Demolock. Okay. Inferno has been removed for Destruction Warlock, and that's everything so far. Warrior, global cooldown hamstring is now 0.75. Okay. Some adjustments here for Warrior. Protection Warrior got the most changes out of all the Warrior spec. They're trying to make it better. Armor increased by 6%. Seems like a lot of new talents are introduced to Protection Warriors. We're gonna see what's up. Tough as Nail has been updated. Challenge shot is now learned at level 16. So now it's gonna be baseline, not a talent. Very interesting stuff. Enduring alacrity no longer gives you more armor. Interesting. Reinforced plates increase armor by 8% with 5. Good. A bit more armor here. Shield charge now grants shield block. Ooh, juicy. Following talents being removed, Juggernaut, Show for Spell Block, Champions Bulwark, and Battering Ram. And that's pretty much every changes so far. Nothing for Fury, nothing for Arms yet. And remember, this is the first iteration of changes. I'm gonna attach this blue post down the comments so you guys can read through the spec that you're playing 100%. Some specs have a lot of notes, that's why I don't want to cover everything, but that's majority of the changes so far. There's going to be a lot more starting probably next week, so make sure to subscribe to the channel. There's going to be a lot more information coming in a handful of weeks. So see you guys next time. Peace out, and see you on stream. Bye for now.